Hello, my name is Corey, and this video is gonna explain a few core strategies that I used to beat the proliferation on Apostle with clans. And unlike the other videos, this is not gonna be a walkthrough. It's just gonna go over the core strategies because personally, I feel the Klingons are the strongest race and most straightforward to win. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. First of all, there's a few key ships you use to gain controlled space. Heavy cruisers, heavy cruiser 2s, which you only need 2 technologies for, and attack cruiser 2s later on. 9 heavy cruiser 2s or 9 attack cruiser 2s are very hard for the AI to deal with. Now in the early going, you use a handful of um, heavy cruisers and scouts cloaked to gain control of the space. And then you use scouts. If you have loads of scouts and troops, you can just take over planet to planet and take over the entire galaxy. So the key, though, is Klingons can't survive orbital batteries, generally speaking. So it's best to sacrifice scouts. And so what you want to do is arrange your fleets like this. First, put your scouts together, and then get your troops, put them together. Now, if you have loads of troops, like they can punch through the shields, so you can just use scouts and troops and just take over planet to planet to planet. You have enough of them. Um, but if you only have a handful of troops, it's a good idea to combine them with um, capital ships. That is, commands or attack cruisers. So in this case, I only have 4 troops, so I would combine it with my heavy cruiser and then invade, and then just keep repeating that. Just build loads of scouts and troops and invade. Um, and as you go along, of course, you will want more and more heavy cruisers because the AI will build bigger and bigger fleets, but your heavy cruisers can take care of them. And then in the end game, your attacker 2s are like almost unstoppable. I personally think the attacker 2 is the most powerful ship in the game. Yeah, so as far as ships, that's all I do, and it's highly effective. The next major topic is diplomacy. I haven't met anyone yet. Um, But for diplomacy, the key is Klingons love it when you reject peace. So if you can, rejecting all peace treaties with the AI is great for your morale. A lot of times you do want peace with a single one because you kind of usually you take over one empire at a time. So if you need to, that's fine. Um, but if you're strong, then you can just decline peace with everybody and just kick all their behinds, and that works well. Um, Keep in mind, alliance is a one peace treaty Klingons are fine with. So if you want an alliance, that's okay. Um, but otherwise, if you can reject peace with everybody, except your people love it. So and so in that regards, they're pretty straightforward. Keep in mind, peace treaties with minor races are okay. They don't mind that so much, but they do mind with major empires. Okay, the next major topic, and indeed, if I do have trouble with the Klingons, it is without question intelligence. So what you do then in your secondary systems, after you build your basic structures, you basically want to put out loads and loads of security modules, and basically put all of your population in your starting colonies in security and energy. And just like I said, you just keep building the security until you run out of population units to mana. And you do that for both starting colonies. Um, and that way, on Kronos, you can keep building ships. Um, you know, and continuing your invasions. You will want to supplement your intelligence with, like, if you take over some minor races, for example, you want to build some intelligence on those systems, so that way, Kronos can keep pumping out, um, keep pumping out ships. Now, in the beginning, what I do is I usually buy a heavy cruiser. If I'm using a heavy cruiser, sometimes I don't use them. And then I buy 3 scouts and 4 troops, and then a few colony ships. And I have the troops and scouts basically take over nearby minor races. You sacrifice the scouts to orbital batteries, basically. Um, and for Klingons, this works really well. Um, okay, so one thing, your biggest problem usually impossible is Cardassians. So what you should do then is, if you meet the Cardassians early, is you want to invade them like immediately. Um, or at least build invasion forces as soon as possible and invade their systems as soon as possible. And always remember, taking over their largest population systems um, will help you the most in terms of stopping their intelligence operations against you. Now, the other thing too is you kind of want to expand slowly. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, I probably would only want to expand to the yellow, for example, and then like colonize everything in the yellow, conquer everything in the yellow, and just absorb everything in the yellow in this, the yellow range, that is, first. And once that's fully absorbed, then go farther. And the reason why is, one of the worst situations is if you have your scouts go to maximum range all the time, you might run into Cardassians, and they could be on the other side of the galaxy, but they're sabotaging you. Which would be a real pain, honestly. If you can't invade them, and you can't build ships because you're forced to do intelligence that on Kronos, that's a really bad situation. So try to be cautious. Just absorb everything in a short range, and then expand. Go a little bit farther with your scouts, and absorb everything in that range, and so on. And in that way, if you do encounter the Cardassians early, that means that they're actually really, really close, and that's okay. You just immediately build your invasion force and take them down. So basically, these are the strategies I use, and it works very, very well. They're such a good race. Um, in fact, I've used just scouts, troops, and colony ships, and I've actually beat an apostle just with those ships. So you can really beat it with any combination of ships, but using the ships I told you earlier really is highly effective with the Klingons. So, okay, so that's basically it. Like I said, the Klingons are very straightforward to beating on impossible. Um, so I hope you guys use these strategies and have fun yourself, and I'll see you guys next time.